Hello and welcome. My name is Marlu Harris. I'm a licensed therapist, psychotherapist, and I'm also a rapid transformational therapist. So I've been using my skills to help people with anxiety, depression, anger, and different kinds of issues that come up, bereavement, grieving, processing losses, and a lot of relationship issues. So over the years, so I've been licensed almost 30 years now in the state of California. And over time, I have added different kinds of, treatment modalities. I may suggest books. I love books, so I use bibliotherapy a lot with my clients. And also some writing exercises. And I want to talk today a little bit about RTT because that's hypnosis. And I did study a few different types of hypnosis over the years and also became a certified neuro-linguistic programmer, which is also some changing your mind, just switching off some of this negative thinking blocks. And RTT I have found is super, super impactful in terms of releasing a lot of these blocks that we have and just feeling more confident about going into your life, going into just your day-to-day, feeling more in control of your emotions, realizing and recognizing that you have so much power within you. And that's what I love about RTT, getting there in a shorter period of time than regular traditional psychotherapy. And not every type of therapy is meant for every type of person. So that's why I'm really grateful that I have these different kinds of approaches to use depending on where you are coming from. So first of all, I want to listen very carefully to what my clients' issues are. So if you're coming in for a relationship problem, we'll look at that. I'll look some at the family background. And you may come in saying, look, I have this block, I have a fear of public speaking, and I want to get to the root, the cause, and the reason of that right away. And so we can then go there. So most people are not quite that clear when they come to see me. And so it takes a little bit of time, maybe one session or two, to figure out how I can help you the most. What is it that you really want to eliminate? Where do you want to go with this? So it's really, there's no cookie cutter approach. It's really a conversation. It's a conversation and it's a relationship. So you are the hero of your life. I am an ally. I truly believe that you have the answers within you and I can help you find them. And there are very many different ways to go to find that part of you. Really, those answers that you're seeking. So first off, I'm also trained as a coach. So I'm a coach. I tend to be very coaching oriented, which is, look at that thought. What do you think of that? So if for the other day, I had a client and she said, I'm always negative, or I'm always beating myself up about that. And I said, okay, well, let's look, is that really true? And so when you look at just the words that you use when you say I'm always or I never, usually those are wrong because you're not always the same way. You don't always have the same reactions. You're never, so never and always, that's just part of cognitive behavioral therapy, really looking at the words that you use, how you speak. And so sometimes just looking at that, okay, yeah, I always say, one of my clients said I'm a very angry person. And the truth is, she has some anger in regard to her own speaking up at times, but yet she isn't really an angry person. She just has some anger, as we all do. It's a normal emotion. So we want to use some of these tools, just talking, communication, cognitive, behavioral therapy, to identify some of the self-talk, some of the critical self-talk that we say to ourselves. Some of that is from being told that over and over as a child, And then we start just incorporating it and internalizing it, and oh, you're never going to be good enough, or you're not cut out for that, or you're always late, or whatever these things are. So first of all, that's number one. Number two, your subconscious mind is programmable. Your subconscious mind is always there. And the interesting thing about RTT, rapid transformational therapy, is your brain does what you think it wants you to do. So I had a client the other day, and she said, I just want someone to take care of me. I just want people to take care of me, because she was being really let down and disappointed by her mother not really being there for her. Now, she's an adult. She's an adult now, my client. And I said, she was saying, I think I'm going to end up in the psych ward. I'm really having anxiety. I don't know. I'm so happy. There's all these things going on in my life. I should be happy, is what she was saying. I should be happy. And so when we looked at that a little bit closer, she wants to feel supported by the people around her. But the more she was saying her brain, I want someone to take care of me, I'm going to end up in the psych ward, what she was setting that up to happen was possibly going into an inpatient situation where someone did have to take care of her in that way. So we unpacked that, and she was able to say, yeah, it's true. I don't want to be in a situation like that, and I am an adult. I don't need to be taken care of. See, a lot of these beliefs come from when we're children, and we do have to be taken care of. You know, you're born and you're totally 100% dependent. Infants are dependent on the adults around them. And so it's little by little we become independent, but it takes some time. Most of us don't start walking until we're about 1, or even a little bit later. Some of us don't even start talking right away until we're 2 or 3. And so that's why with development, you have to look, each of us is different, and yet she's able to walk today as an adult and talk. But these were skills that the infant didn't have yet. So we had to learn those skills. And the reason I'm bringing this up in this way is just to give you some examples of where our thinking hasn't quite caught up to where we are as adults. So feeling uncared for and unsupported is one thing, but wishing and hoping that there's someone to take care of me, that's in essence giving your power away. So a better way to look at that would be, okay, I can take care of myself, but I do want someone I can depend on. You know, I want someone who can also be there for me as I am for them in a relationship. If a friend is always letting you down, or a family member not coming through and not following through, that can cause you to feel like you're not worthy. So part of it is learning how to express your true feelings to that person in a non-judgmental, non-angry way. And then if the person still keeps letting you down or not following through, you have a decision to make. There's a choice. Do you change the nature of your relationship with that person? Do you cut them off completely? I believe it's best to change the nature of your relationship with certain people, unless it is terribly abusive and you know then that you have to cut it off. I'm here as a guide to help you work through these things and navigate them. I'm not going to jump in and say, okay, you've got to cut that person off, or oh, you've got to do that. I'll say, you have to speak your truth. I may say that. Let's get in touch with what that is. What is it that you really want to say? What is it that you really want? So in terms of RTT, that is a journey in hypnosis. So I will put you in, I will guide you into a hypnotic state, and then we'll go to a time. I'll say, when is there a time that, what do we think is a crucial event, a crucial time in your life, typically under the age of 10, when you felt like you didn't have any power, or when you felt like you were let down and not supported? And then let the subconscious take us there together on a journey. And then that will come out, we'll process that, we'll go to a few scenes, process that, and then have a realization. You look at those scenes and you compare them to where you are today. So you look at those scenes from your childhood, and then I'll ask you, do you see a connection between those scenes in your childhood and how you're feeling today? In this case, not being supported. And it was, yes, feeling let down at a more vulnerable age when you didn't have the power that you have now as an adult. And so just seeing that can give you a new perspective. The other part of RTT is there's a recording that I make, which is really the empowered beliefs that I am enough, you are enough. And this recording is then given, prepared, custom made for you. And you listen to that for 21 days minimum, because that's how long it takes to change a habit. Research shows it takes a minimum of 21 days to change a habit, which means some people might change it quicker. Some people it may take a little bit longer. So after the hypnosis session, I have 3 coaching sessions, 4 actually, that I believe are so important, because one after 7 days, one after 14, just to see, is everything going well? Is there something in the recording? Is there something that's come up that doesn't feel clear? And then we'll do some psychic digging, psyche more really, going into your psyche and just really finding out what is missing or what is working, and then how can we refine that even more, embed that in even more. So there are a lot of other modalities that may come in to help embed those new beliefs to actually, so that you as a client actually have a transformation. Like, wow, I am in charge now and I feel empowered. One of my clients recently was feeling so helpless and hopeless due to a parent being just not there, just letting her down over and over and over again. And we went through this process together through the hypnosis, and she recognized that she isn't a child anymore. She is an adult. And she said, I feel so much stronger. And she was beginning to trust herself, because there was a loss of trust in the adult figures when she was very young, being there for her and really standing up for her and taking care of her in the way a parent really should. And yet, rather than going down the blaming path, it was, what can I do now? You know, what can we work together now to create a sense of empowerment and self-control? And so these are just some of the examples that I wanted to have been asked to explain a little bit more about how I work with RTT. And I really hope that helps. Please schedule a discovery call with me, and if you have any questions, and we'll go over it. If you're the type of person that really wants to grow and change and clear out some of these blocks that you may see coming up in different areas of your life, maybe patterns that you want to clear. And this is a beautiful approach for that. Thank you so much for listening, and please contact me.